High Court ruling nullified the census results for Mandera, Wajir and Garissa counties, sparking debate about representation, resource allocation and the region's historical struggles.
The Garissa High Court has declared the 2019 census results for Garissa, Wajir and Mandera counties to be null and void.
But what led to this decision and what does it mean for the region's future? Let's unpack it. In January 2025, the High Court ruled to nullify the 2019 census results for the three counties, citing irregularities and data manipulation.
About 10 days before the census night in 2019, the government hurriedly passed through Parliament a bill which would allow the Director General of Kenya National Bureau of Statistics to have powers to alter census results. When the census results came in, the government hyped that there were anomalies from Northeastern. They gave quite a number of reasons, ABCD. Finally, they came out and said the figures for Northeastern are going to be revised downwards by 40%.
Have they all been counted? I don't think so, because of the lifestyle of the people, the nomadic lifestyle. So at no given time can you do a wholesome picture of the number of population in Northeastern, and that we have come to terms with. What we had a problem with is people ignoring the raw data coming from the field, sitting in a boardroom and just deciding that this is not the population. This is the population.
According to the ruling, Mandera County's population fell from 1,025,756 in 2009 to 867,457 in 2019, a drop of over 158,000 people. Northeastern leaders flagged the decline as highly unlikely, especially given the region's high fertility rates, early marriages and large household sizes.
A Somali man marries up to 4 women. One woman has an average of 6-7 children.
Wajir County, on the other hand, recorded an increase from 661,941 in 2009 to 781,263 in 2019, a growth of 119,322 people. But local leaders argue the numbers were deflated, shrinking their share of resources.
For the example of Wajir South constituency, we were undercounted in 2009. So in 2019, we created enough civic and public education that enabled the people to stay home for the visits of the enumerating officers. The raw data coming for Wajir South from the field was 490,000 in an area 22,000 square kilometers. That is 10 times the size of Kembo County. But a whopping 200,000 was reduced from that number. And the number was put at 290,000. How this was arrived at, no one knows. And when we told them, bring the server, bring the raw data, the National Bureau of Statistics refused to conform. That's how we ended up in court.
The court gave its verdict, and it said actually the census results that were doctored by the government and which has been used by IBC, by the Treasury and by CRA were all illegal.
The court nullifying those results was probably the best possible thing that happened to the people of Northeastern Kenya in a very long while.
To understand the present census controversy, we need to look at the past. The Northeastern region has long faced systemic marginalization, dating back to the Shifter War of 1963 to 1967, which saw the state impose harsh security measures, limiting movement and development.
It comes in from the early days of emergency rule, comes from sessional paper number 10, which contained the policy that reduced resource allocation for that region when it comes to budgetary allocations.
All the indicators of development as we speak, is below the rest of the country in Northeastern, and it's a huge It's a huge area. Pakistan is like, Mandera alone is like the size of Rwanda.
Even after the war, residents endured decades of neglect with limited access to infrastructure and public resources.
The impact can be felt by anybody who travels to the region. Fewer hospitals, fewer schools, fewer facilities, no roads. And when I say no roads linking the three counties. So when it rains, entire communities get cut off from the outside world and civilization, sometimes for months.
The vast northeastern region is now cut off from the rest of Kenya.
This historical context shaped the region's fight for equitable representation and why population counts as such a sensitive issue. Census data isn't just about planning, it's about power. Population figures determine parliamentary seats, county budgets, and how national resources are shared. That's why for residents of Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa, the court ruling feels personal.
Census is supposed to be scientific, not political. And playing politics with the lives of people who happen to be within the borders of your country. People who are entitled to their fair share of the national resources. People who are also the first line of defense for this country. We have a failed state on the other side of the border. If it were not for the collaboration and cooperation the people of northern Kenya are giving to our gallant forces, then we will not have the stability we have today in Kenya.
President William Ruto recently lifted ID vetting requirements for ethnic Somalis, a move aimed at addressing historical discrimination.
He has gone out of his way to try and reverse some of those policies that were marginalizing the people from the region.
When you had the president singing the places where the road will pass.
Hiyo barabara imengojewa kwa miaka karibu 50. Mimi nataka ni promise watu wa hapa Garissa na watu wa Northern Kenya. Hiyo barabara ndani ya miaka 4 tutakuwa tumekamilisha barabara 750 kilometers kutoka Isiolo, Kulamawe, Modogashe, Samatar, ifike Wajia, itoke Wajia iende Tarbaj, itoke Tarbaj iende Elwak, itoke Elwak iende Ramo mpaka Mandera.
That was music to our ears. That some parts of this road are today under construction come as a huge relief to those of us from the region who've always been waiting for a road that links the three counties that the region is made up of.
The nullification of the census results in northeastern Kenya isn't just a legal issue. It's a powerful reminder of the link between data and dignity.
We have been given a road deal since independence. Mount Kenya makes up 17% of the population in this country. Northeastern region makes only about 6% of the population in this country. Mount Kenya gets 17% of the resources from this country. Northeastern gets a country 2.8% of the resources. And the only demand we have is if we are 6%, give us 6% resources commensurate with our numbers. We don't want any more rights than other Kenyans, but we also don't want any lesser rights than other Kenyans.
In a world where accurate counts can shape futures and miscounts can erase entire communities from national progress, the people of Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa aren't just fighting for numbers, they're fighting to exist.